Hey guys, in today's episode we're going to be looking at turning the Bambu Labs AMS into a filament dry box. The reason we're taking on this project today is because I just bought a bunch of TPU and my current dry box setup is not the greatest. My hygrometer down there you can see is quite high, and all it is silica gel packets scattered all throughout the bottom, and a little seal that goes around the top of the lid, which doesn't really hold any moisture out. So, because we're rocking TPU now, we got to look at something a little bit more substantial to keep the TPU dry. The X1 carbon does have a filament drying feature, but it takes multiple hours to dry a roll of filament, and that's kind of unsat. So I thought to myself, well, I got the entirety of a AMS right there, which usually I'm only printing 1 or 2 filaments out of at a time, and I've got in there, you can actually see I do have some silica gel packets just kind of wedged in the corners there. But I thought to myself, what could we do to make that better? And even if we lose 1 slot for color printing, like I said, I'm only printing 1, maybe 2 colors at a time, so it shouldn't be an issue. So I'm thinking I could stick a TPU roll in there to let it dry while I'm printing another print, and then print with my TPU or something like that. But the dessicant packets aren't doing it, so I did some research, I found some files, and without further ado, we're gonna hop into how to turn this into its own dry box. So the 2 files that we're going to be using for today are going to be this one here, dessicant tray for Bambu Lab AMS created by Roland, and the silica dry box for Bambu Lab AMS by Thomas. And you can see here the silica gel dry boxes. They just slide into your AMS right there. They've got room for a hygrometer, and we're going to be using the rectangle variant so that ours can fit in there. And for the dessicant tray, it fits in right where the standard issue dessicant would go that you get from Bambu Labs. However, ours allows us to refill it with dessicant of our choice. So we're going to slice those up and send it to the printer. Okay, so we're in the slicer now. We've got our 2 plates. On this plate here, I have the silica gel boxes that will go in the front, with the one for the hygrometer right there, as well as their covers. And then on the second plate, I have the 2 silica gel holders that will go in the back bottom of the AMS. So with these 2, I did get them sliced up, and our total printing time is going to be about 8 hours. It is going to take a hot minute because they are big, tall structures with a little bit of supports on there. It does take a little bit to print, but it is what it is. I've got nothing but time to kill on the weekend. And you can see what they're going to look like there when they're all said and done. So I'll get these printed, and I'll give you an update a little bit later. So while we're here, print's getting started, I figured I'd do a little baseline. Hygrometer's been in there for a little bit, and it's currently sitting at 48%. Even with all the dessicant packets I have scattered throughout there and hidden under up and behind the filament rolls. Here, I'll show you where that would be if you didn't already know. Inside of your AMS system, there is 2 spots, just like that, where if you pop the back off, you can slap a dessicant pack. Whether that's a silica gel pack that they give you, like this one here, or one from the store. You can see this one is saturated, so it's not doing me any good in there anymore. Other one's probably doing the same thing, but that's where my printer currently is printing from, is number 1. So I'll slap that back on there because that's not doing nothing for us. And we're going to change that in about 6 hours and 15 minutes.
One eternity later.
Alright, so I finally got all the parts printed off. These guys here gave me a little bit of trouble. It's actually 2 days later now, but we've got everything we need here to put this all together. Now it's worth noting that what this is reading right now is about accurate. I think it was 48% when it was inside the AMS system, and it's sitting at 49% right now. So it's sitting, oh wow, oh, that's because my finger's covering it. It's sitting at about the same inside the AMS versus outside the AMS. For silica gel, I'm using the dry and dry orange indicating silica gel. So it's orange when it's fresh, turns to green when it's not, and you can either microwave it or stick it in the oven to dry it out and reuse it. So that's what we'll be using today for silica gel. Now, as I was showing earlier, each one of these comes with the covers, and the center one has a spot for the hygrometer, which we're gonna wedge in there. Hopefully it doesn't break it. There we go. It actually sits in there pretty good. Probably could have played around with the tolerances a little bit more, but that's in there now just like that. And that's gonna read from around the this thing of silica gel. Got the covers as well, which we'll install shortly, but they just slide in like that for each one of them. Actually, we may as well install them now. So they just slide in. It's a almost perfect fit, actually. Nice and tight. Then we have these here, which are going to go into the back of the AMS when they get printed off. They're printed with this divot so that they can only go in one way, and they just slide in just like that. Now I will be installing the bottom one first so that I can pour in silica gel and it sits down there and I can shake as much as I can in there. And pouring silica gel is the next step. So I've got this piece of paper here, which I'm going to use as a kind of bullshit funnel here. Words are hard for me today. I just got back from work. Don't judge me too hard. So we can just stick that in there and pour our silica gel in through the top. Just gonna roll it up just a little bit better here. Tear off this. That looks terrible. Don't look great, but it'll get the job done. So all we gotta do is stick this in there like that. We'll grab our silica gel beads here. The reason I went with dry and dry is they seem to be relatively trustworthy in the community. Yeah, dry and dry is really trustworthy in the community. From what I can see, a lot of others are using this product. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. For those of you who aren't expecting it, this will make a mess. Got that one filled there, so we'll close the top. It's hard to see, but you can see the orange show through the cracks. So I should be able to tell when they go green, and if not, I can always just pop that open. And that'll be a pretty good indicator. Put the funnel back together, and we'll do the next one. That's two. And the third one, same process. Still stick more in that. And there we go. So that's our 3 boxes for the front. And before we do anything else, I'm gonna stick those in right now. Move that. May as well pull out the filaments for now. So as you can see, now you can see all the different pieces or packets of silica gel I've thrown in here to attempt to keep things dry. So I'm just gonna pull as many of these out of here as I can. I brought some tools to help. They're all in all the corners and well past their proper lifespan here. They're not doing a whole lot. Oh my god. There's a lot more in here than I thought.
Phrasing?
Didn't realize I'd crammed so many in here.
Phrasing.
Okay. should be it. That's no shortage, that's for sure. Now to install these, all we got to do is stick them in on a bit of an angle, and they just slide right into place. That's all there is to it. Just like that. Now for the back ones, that's what we're going to do next. But I will close that up, and we'll go back over to the table. Welcome back to the table. So now for these ones here, I'm going to take a risk and hopefully not make a mess of my entire apartment with silica gel beads. But we should just be able to pour these in here. Oh, there goes a few. But we got them. We're good. Could I fill that a little bit more? Probably. But I'm just going to settle for how full it is now. Again, these are rechargeable, so once I see the humidity spike, I'll just recharge them. There we go. One down, one to go. Okay. Okay, so they're all snapped into place. Back to the printer. These ones here are just as easy to install. I've already removed one silica gel packet from here. Just got to open up the lid, take out the old bamboo packet that they provide. Take your box, put your box in, and put on the cover. That is all there is to it. Just make sure it snaps into place so you're not having any issues with your filament rolls. Same thing on this side. In goes your box, on goes your cover. A little bit of a tight fit around the edges. There we go. And just like that, we're done. So we've got our humidity hygrometer right there, showing 29. We're gonna load some filament, and we're gonna see what it ends up being. I'm just gonna put it in. I've got this roll of TPU here that it's been sitting out a couple days now, so it's pretty wet. We're gonna throw that in there as well. Get some white in there. Get some red. We'll close the cover, and we'll come back in a couple hours, and we'll see what she's at. So, update. It's been a little over 24 hours now, actually. Left it to sit overnight and through the workday, and I did move the hygrometer into the actual AMS itself, and the reason I did that is because I noticed when I immediately put it in here, the humidity started dropping, so I figured it was probably reading the humidity around the silica gel packets, which is not what we're going for. So I dropped it right there. We can see there the humidity inside there after opening it up is 26%. Now going up, obviously, because it's outside, so we can probably say that before I opened the cover, it was probably around 24 at the lowest. Which, it's a far cry from what everybody's claiming on the internet of 10% when it's mounted in the front of that, and what we were seeing when we first put it in was 10%. But once I moved it, the humidity did increase. But, hey, from 40 to 26%, or 46 to 26%, I'd say that's a pretty big win. Not the 10% I was looking for, but it's still a massive decrease compared to what we were seeing. It's worth noting that after that short amount of time, I can see now it's spiking now that I have the cover off. After 24 hours, our beads are still orange, which means they haven't sucked up enough humidity to be dried yet, which is good. I'll just double check these down here as well, in the back. Sorry, I just completely smudged the lens. Hopefully you don't see that. It's hard to see, but I can see that they are still orange. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. So they will last more than 24 hours. Thank God for that. So, yeah, well, I'm expecting my prints to come out a little bit better now that we're going from 46 or whatever we were at before down to 20. I'm going to leave that in there, and what I'm going to do now is, geez, that climbed quick, eh? Can't have the cover off for long on this thing.
Squirrel!
I'm going to put this here, and I guarantee you, the moment when I close this all up, that's going to start dropping rapidly. Yeah, there it goes. So that's good. Means that the seal is airtight for the most part, and silica gel's doing its job. So there you have it, guys. Quick little quote-unquote dry box for your AMS. It's worth noting that this does not substitute drying the filament, but it is a much quicker, much more efficient or alternative. Well, I don't know about quicker, because I did let this sit for a while. It does take 16 hours to dry a roll of TPU, and this was sitting for 24 to get it down to that 26 or whatever percent that it was at. So not bad. Yeah, there it goes down to 37, and it's just going to keep dropping because it's getting its reading from right there, which is where all the packets are, or where all the beads are. But either way, I would call that project a success. Stay tuned for more in the near future. Got a couple 3D printing projects I'm working on that I'm going to document. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Later on.